Hello and welcome to Runefair's Let's Play of Aquaria. It kind of struck me that the last two games I made, they're pretty much more considerable old games. They were released in the 90s, but I kind of think that I want to do Macintosh games, and that means of any time and age. So I decided to play a bit more modern game for my next Let's Play. This game was released 2008 for the Macintosh. It's actually one of my all-time favorite games. Also, before we start, here's an important note I believe it's quite important that I get out. There's a lot of different kinds of collectibles in this game. There is a ton to find and gather. And a lot of these items doesn't have a practical purpose. Because of this, I'm not gonna be 100% completing this game. I'm gonna try and find as much as I can, and I will try and get all the really important items, but I won't go for a 100% completion of this game. It's not because of the fact that I wouldn't want to do it, but there's a lot of stuff to find, and I think that just watching me trying to find where all these things are when they don't serve a practical purpose is a bit of a waste. So, with that said, let's get started.
The verse flows throughout Aquaria, through each ripple and wave, through every living being. The verse binds us all as one. The verse binds us, narrator and explorer. My story will become your own, and yours will become mine. You will live my life through my eyes, and you will learn the truth. As far back as I can remember, I came to this place to think. This cave was my sanctuary. Here the verse was so focused that I could feel it humming in the stones around me. If I called out in song, the cave and its creatures would dance to my tune. If I had stayed there, I might have found peace. But eventually, loneliness and restlessness drove me away.
So, we get right into the action. The game, as you might be able to figure out from the name, is played completely underwater. Okay, not completely underwater, but majority of the game is underwater. So you have a very large amount of freedom of movement. You can either move with your mouse, and if you click your mouse, you'll push yourself forward in water. I don't really know what's called in English. You're also able to move with the keys. Normally when I just move around I use the mouse, but when I get into combat I move with the keys, because you also use the mouse to aim, so it's kind of good to have both the ability to move and shoot at the same time. Also, another key aspect of this game, Naja is some kind of sirenish creature, so she is capable of singing, and singing is an important aspect of the game. It has a lot of uses. For instance, open treasure chests. And as you can probably figure out, you're going to learn different kinds of songs that will make you able to do a lot of different things. Oh yeah, if you pedal into a wall, she will stick herself to the wall. This can be useful, but at the most time, it's not that important. You can also look around, but I don't really use it that much. Oh, and believe it or not, these kind of yellowfish you see here, they're really important. But for the reason why, I will tell you later.
When confronted with a dangerous situation, I was wise to use the full range of my physical abilities to avoid it. With a powerful thrust of my legs, my webbed feet would propel me forward, leaving my pursuers in my wake.
Yeah, you can't fight at the moment. You're completely vulnerable. Here I am.
As I sang, I could feel the verse flowing through me. Certain songs stirred the verse deeply, causing changes in the surrounding waters. The first song I had discovered would wrap the verse around me, protecting me from environmental dangers.
Actually, this is only partially true. What the shield does is it completely protects me from almost every kind of projectile. But it doesn't protect you from physical damage. You still gotta be careful. Another thing I should mention is the songs you can learn are actually hotkeyed. I will try and actually sing them as much as possible because partially I find it more fun.
The power that lay within these crystals flowed to places beyond this world, and the memories of all who neared them were reflected in their depths. I chose to record my story within these crystals for the benefit of those who would journey beyond my life.
As I always said, I'm gonna try and sing the songs as much as possible, but I may use an hotkey every now and then. These are basically just save points. They will also heal you to full health whenever you pay visit to one. What is that?
In all my memory, every day had been like every other. If she had not appeared before me in that moment, I might have stayed in those waters for the rest of my days, living as a simple creature. But I was compelled to follow.
Sorry about that, I'm a little bit sick. Hello? Flashback! This is actually a form or ability you will get later on, the energy form. Yeah! Danger everywhere! Ow! This was one of those you can't possibly lose scenarios. If you lost all health, you would just end as if you've reached the end.
The strange form faded before my eyes. Perhaps I'd only dreamed her, but I was no longer the same. That vision. I'd lived as a feral creature, not thinking beyond the simplest desires. Until now. As if from a dream, I awoke to the reality of my existence, to the fact that I was alone. I knew that this world was called Aquaria, and that my name was Naja, but I could recall nothing else. Was I the only one of my kind left? Was I destined to live out the rest of my days in solitude? My heart ached for answers. In time, I would discover far more than I'd wished to learn.
Okay, so now we got a whole place to explore. I'm gonna be completely honest, the map in this game is not the very best. Okay, you can see here it looks fairly basic, but as you uncover new area, it becomes very clogged, so it can become difficult to read out where exactly you are. This was pretty much a dead end. Ah, special bulbs. What was lost train of thought. Yeah, gold. Yeah, the map basically marks out where you can go and pretty much where you should go.
I was enveloped by warm light as familiarity overwhelmed me. I had come home.
This is pretty much your house. Even though you have a house, there's actually not much going on in here. There's a lot of areas that you can actually not enter yet, but most of these areas are simply just a trophy rooms for whatever treasures you find. I'm just gonna sleep a little bit. I'm not really sure what that happens because it doesn't happen every time. I think it's the game trying to clue you in where you're supposed to go. Kinda. Where is... Ah, there.
There were many strange ingredients to be found in the waters of Aquaria. By cooking them together with the verse, I could create new foods. Some of my recipes proved to be very useful.
Yeah, you can basically cook a lot of food. At the moment, you're able to cook on the fly. See here, but then you only have 2 cooking slots. There's only certain areas where you can cook. Obviously, the very best recipes requires 3 slots, and there are only certain locations where you're able to cook these. Hey, don't eat my food! Let's see... I think you're supposed to be going here. No. It's been a while since I played this game. It's a very atmospheric game, though. I really like it. The most fun fact about this game, the entirety of the game was developed by 2 guys. Well, this isn't an incredibly long game. If you play it from start to finish, it's roughly 10 hours worth of gameplay. But still, that's 2 people were able to make a game this size and in this great quality. It's really amazing, in my opinion.